Hello there, this is DBT, and these are the ROMs. And alright, let's see what happened with the Asphalt 8, because as it stands now, the new version has already dropped. Now, just yesterday, I made a video talking about the patch notes, doing a review of all of the points and telling you what I thought they meant and all of that. Well, it's time to figure some stuff out because it's out there. So, I'm driving already in Venice, which is the track that got remastered, and there's a reason why I started this video halfway through the race. I'm playing against the Iron Quick race in elimination because that gives me a bunch of opportunity to, or a bunch of chance to look at the map, because there's like 2-3 laps that I gotta do. Now, as I said, there's a reason for me to start right over here, and that is because you know how there's some, I guess depending on the device, but there's textures popping issues where when the race starts, textures look incredibly blurry, and as the race progresses, then they start looking better. Well, that's been happening to this track, and considerably much more than to other tracks. So this might be a bit of an optimization issue. I don't know, it might be just specific to my device. Who knows? So I just wanted to show you the track already in the best form. That's why I'm not using a lot of nitro, because when you use perfect nitro and things like that, the screen gets blurry. So instead I wanted to show you the map as is, in the best possible light, with the best with the textures already loaded in, without blurriness and all of that. And man, let me tell you, this map looks absolutely beautiful. You can definitely tell that there was a lot of effort put into updating the look of this map. It's still a map that we know, so nothing new in that sense. It's not like, oh, they added new days. No. The map technically is the same, but the visuals, man, as I expected, or as I kind of guessed in the previous video, they probably added higher resolution textures, or in general more textures. I don't know, there might be more buildings around and all of that. So it does look certainly very, very cool. I like it. And I do believe that this might be the first step into adding track variations, newer versions of this same track with different routes. And I don't mean just this exact same route, but maybe blocking. Instead of going left here, you have to go right over there. Now, maybe they could finally start expanding the map a little bit. Like, I don't know, in some of those roads that look close, maybe there could be some other place to go. But anyway, we don't know yet. The point is, this map has been retouched, I guess, and it certainly looks very cool. But I want to show you a feature that was mentioned in the patch notes, and I think it's worth exploring over here, because this will make some people very happy, and some people will be like, makes no difference to me. That is the being able to skip the animation when you start a race. So let me just replay this, at least the very start, and look at that. Tap to skip. You tap, and it's gone straight into the race. Never mind about the rainbowy colors on this thing. That is an issue of the emulator that I'm using, so don't worry about it. But yeah, that is the skip animation. And why do I say that some people will love it, some people won't care for it? Well, it has to do with the fact that this only works in a non-multiplayer environment. Anything that it's not multiplayer, or rather, in multiplayer it doesn't work. I tested it, and yeah, in multiplayer, you still see the animation of the avatars, you still see the track presentation, and honestly, it makes sense, because when you're there, you know, you have to wait for all of the other players to load and all of that stuff. Oh boy, I was trying to brake, I promise. You have to wait for all the players to load. I just wanted to look around to see if there was a possibility of another route over here, but it's fine. I'm gonna lose this race, it's okay. So yeah, multiplayer, not a huge difference, it's alright, but for anything that's single player related, or offline, or locally, you should be fine. Like Gauntlet, for example, I think you should be able to skip the animation in Gauntlet, but oh well. Now, let's actually have a look at what I wanted to show you in this video, what the title and thumbnail is probably about, and that is the special events. Now, for the special event, well, you can access it obviously from the main menu, so that is not a problem. You can see it over here. Already you can see that the UI changed a little bit. We used to have this little diagonal thing, translucent. Now all of that is gone. Now you have some additional buttons on the right side. You got a special offer. Then you also got over here the ad roulette, where you watch ads in order to get some rewards. Special event and play. So let's look at the special event, because man, there's some stuff going on over here. First of all, I'm gonna say, yeah, as expected, I was kind of right as to how this thing was gonna be. It is indeed incredibly similar to the way that Asphalt 9 does it, and to be completely honest, I think that's a good thing because it's an engaging type of event that has you doing stuff for a bunch of days as opposed to speed running, which was kind of the problem that I had with the racing pass, where technically it's locked, you can unlock pages and all of that, but you can just speed run it and be done in a couple of days. No, this one actually paces you out through 2 weeks. So what's the whole deal with this thing? Well, basically, as you can see already, each one of these stages has a car in the cover, and that is the car that you're gonna need or you're gonna be using in order to make more progress in this thing. How does it work? Well, the very first thing to understand is that there's this thing called conditions. Now, conditions are basically objectives that you need to beat in each one of the stages. For example, if we go to stage 1, you will see that it has a total of 20 conditions available. Now, each condition, each one of these, it's a condition. So, for example, over here, I need to beat the race under 106. If I do that once, that is going to give me 1 condition. If I do it twice, it's going to be 2 conditions. And no matter how many times I do it afterwards, I don't get any additional conditions. So that would be 2 out of the 20. Now, obviously, you can see that there's a bunch of different conditions. Drift 1,000 meters, perform 1 perfect runs, beat the race under 104, and win the race. And you can see how many times you have to repeat it. So for example, this specific race or this stage, I need to do at least 6 times in order to complete this thing. And obviously I'm gonna also be trying to complete all the other objectives at the same time so that in 6 races, I get all of the conditions. If you add them up, you have 6, 5 over here, you have 4, that's gonna be 15, and 18, 20. So yeah, it makes sense, right? The 20 conditions, that's how it works. Now, this specific stage, the very first stage, is with the new car, the Lamborghini Reventon Roadster. And this is one thing that I said for a very long time that Gameloft should do, and I'm really glad that they have done it. I'm not gonna say that they listened to me, but I appreciate the fact that they did it. They finally, in some ways, allow you to test the new cars. And for example, the Lamborghini Reventon Roadster, you can actually test it. You can see over here that it says that it's a free try, and you can also tell because it's already at the maximum rank, 1862 out of 1862. So how about we give it a shot, and for the first time ever, for me, grab the Reventon Roadster. Man, I've been dying to do this, but I was saving it for the video. Now, I did realize that I did not apply boosters, so I hope I don't regret that. Again, you can skip animations, and oh, let's go, let's listen to this. Oh boy. All right. Oh, hello. Hold on. Can you hear it has a little whine to it? Can you hear the little high note that it has? Yeah, oh wow. I was fully expecting for this car to just have the regular V12 sound to it, which it does, but it also has a little bit of a different note to it. It has an additional little whine, which is kind of weird because this car doesn't have any type of supercharger or anything in real life, but hey, at least it sounds different, and you know what? I actually appreciate it. It makes it sound different. I like it. Oh boy. Alright, don't worry about it. What are my thoughts on this car? I don't know yet. You know that I'm not good at judging, oh, this is an amazing car, it's a king or anything. I don't know. It feels nice to drive, I'll tell you that. Oh man, it's finally good to see the Reventon in this game. I would have preferred it was the coupe, but I understand that they wanted to do the Roadster to keep showing the avatars, but hey. Alright, look at that. So, I don't know if I beat all of the objectives. I think I did. One of them was beating under 105 and 104, so I probably did those too, but I forgot already what I was supposed to do in the other ones. So, let's see. It should take me out to see my results. Oh yeah, look at the Reventons, man. And by the way, the Reventon has a bunch of colors. That's so very nice. There it is. There are my rewards. Some kits that I actually don't need, but oh well. Yeah. Fusion coins. I feel like I missed one, didn't I? Oh, I didn't do the drift one. I did get everything else, but I didn't do the drift. So I gotta make sure to get a total of 1,000 meters of drift. And as you can see, I already got 4 conditions out of all of them. Now, just for the sake of me driving this car again, because why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I? By the way, can I change the color? Yes, I can. Okay. Look at that. Colors for this beauty. A strange little blue. We got black. We got straight up silverish, orange, red, yellow, and white. I'm gonna go for the default color for the time being. But let's try to get another bunch of conditions done. Again, the beauty of skipping, that's so lovely that we can do that now. So, remember DVT, you gotta do a bunch of drift, okay. 1,000 meters doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're used to driving in this game just with nitro all the time, 1,000 meters, Jesus Christ. You know what, if I do the 1,000 meters drift, I wonder if I'm not gonna achieve the time goal, because you saw how close that was. We'll see. But yeah, like I was saying, it's great that they finally give you an opportunity to test the new cars. And man, I'm so happy to have more Lambos. To be completely honest, I don't understand why they gave these Lambos the rank that they gave. I'll talk about that in a bit. But hey, more Lambos, how can I complain? So let me make sure that I get some extra. Yeah, this engine sounds slightly different. Very interesting, and I'm happy about it because this regular V12 sound, you've heard it so many times that I'm so glad to hear it being a little different, even if they just added another layer of sound. All right, I don't know if that was enough drift, but I sure hope so. So let me skip all of this and get to the results. All right, and did I get all of them this time? Yes, I did. All right, perfect. I got all of the objectives. So that means that now I've done 9 out of 20 conditions. So you can see already this already marked out because I already did all of them. So now I get to focus in the other one. That's basically how this entire thing goes. It tells you already that I'm 45% into all the conditions of this. Now, so why am I explaining all of this? Oh, look at that. They give you a little bar of how much progress you've made in this particular. Well, from here onwards, you are gonna need to have the cars featured in this little, let's call them thumbnails. The second stage, which is gonna start tomorrow, it's gonna require the Lamborghini Urus. Fortunately, you can go and have a look as to what it is that you need to do over there. And there we go. It also tells you how many conditions are there. And there you go. All of the objectives that you need to do in order to get the conditions unlocked. Obviously, right now it's locked because it's gonna be available until tomorrow. And the important thing to keep in mind is this thing that says also requirements. If we'll keep looking ahead, you will see there's also for the Miura, there's also for the Asterion, the Sterato, the new Lambo. By the way, we can have a look over here what the new car is. Hurricane Sterato at a rank of 1861. It's another Class S car. And man, what a cool looking car. Again, I don't understand why they put it in this bracket, but okay. I'm not gonna question it too much. Has a bunch of color options, looks pretty dope, although I do like this this green Helios, whatever it's called, I don't remember. So in this one, this particular one, you can see that already shows at the highest rank, so this is probably also gonna be a free try, and that is an easy way to figure it out. Of course, because in my case, I already have I have all of the Lambos before this update, and most of them I have them at Pro. It already shows like this, but this is probably, if you don't have this car or you don't have it at Pro, it's probably not gonna show like this. It will show you what is your rank, because you can see that some of these conditions are locked behind also having a particular rank for the car. You need to have the car at least at a rank of this to be able to do these conditions on top of already being in the correct day. What other cars are featured? Well, we have the Gallardo, we have the Stoke, we have the Super Trofeo Evo, Veneno, SC20, and Veneno SC20. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Those are the cars that are required. Now, if you look later on, specifically in stage 14, you will notice what I was saying. This car is already showing a completely different rank because this is not going to be a free try at Pro. So this one, if you want to get all of the conditions, you need to own this car or at least upgrade it. I don't know if you need to own it. Maybe it's going to be one of those cases where you can upgrade without owning it. I'm not sure yet. We'll see what happens. But yeah, so the whole thing that I was saying about the conditions is that on top of these things being locked behind, you know, being time sensitive, that this unlocks tomorrow, this unlocks also tomorrow, this one will unlock in 2 days, this is going to be in 3 days, so on and so forth. It's also locked behind actually having conditions. So, for example, let's say that it's already tomorrow and I haven't done a single thing over here. In fact, even as I have it right now, I only have 9 conditions done. Is there a general condition counter? Oh yeah, over here. I have 9 conditions done in total. So that means that by tomorrow, if I haven't done anything else, I will not be able to do this at all until I do more conditions in the previous stage or stages. So obviously this is gonna be easy because the conditions are really, really easy to do. Why does this matter? Because this will allow you to actually skip some stages. While it is obviously recommended to have all of the cars required to get every single condition, you can actually skip some of them. How does that work? Well, let's have a quick look over here. We said that this one has 20 condition totals, right? So I finish it, and then I also have the Urus, and I do all of the conditions, and I got another 20. But guess what? Oh, I just so happen to not own the Miura, because I never bought it. And I'm gonna be like, oh no, or maybe I own it, I have it at stock, but it's not gonna be any good. Well, no worries, because actually you can skip this. Why? Because I already would have gotten 20 conditions from this and another 20, so I have 40 conditions in total, and this only requires 20, so I can completely skip it because the next one requires 30. Now, if this required 60, I would not get here unless I finish also this, but as you can tell, the increments on the requirements are small. So that means that, for example, let's assume that this wasn't a free try, and I'm in the same situation where, oh my god, I don't have the car, how am I gonna make any progress? Well, worry not, because this has 20 conditions, this has 20 conditions, another 20, and another 20. With this, you already have 80 conditions. So this one requires 40, it's alright, I cannot do it because I don't have the car, but guess what? This one already, it only needs 50 conditions, so I get to skip this entire thing to get to this. So this is why the counting the conditions and how many you have and all of that is kind of important, because actually there's a little bit of a roadblock in stage 14. In stage 14, it's the first time that it requires you one of the new cars that isn't a free try. You can see over here that another try of the Sterato, there was another try somewhere over here of the, or maybe not yet, later on maybe. Yeah, for the Reventon, Jesus Christ. But this one, it's actually a free try. You can see that it's already at the maximum rank. This one isn't. So you may think, oh, I'm gonna get stuck over here, but no. Actually, if you've done all of the previous conditions, you can just straight up skip this one and get to this one because of you having enough conditions. Now, granted, this obviously means that you need to have a ton of these Lambos at the required rank, and for someone like me that collects Lambos, that's fantastic because it's not a problem. But I understand that a lot of people may not have some of these Lambos and they might get stuck. So that is where the business model of this event comes in, where Gameloft also wants you to get some of these cars, spend some resources into upgrading them, and of course, if you don't have enough resources, you may want to spend some money into buying the resources to upgrade the car. Whether or not you think that's fair or not, that's not the question I have over here, that's not the topic. The topic is that at least for players that do have a big garage, this is basically, you're gonna be able to get this car, the Reventon, for free. Why is that? How do you get the Reventon? You might think, oh, but you need to get to the maximum stage to get the Reventon. No. In order to get the Reventon, you have to look over here at the rewards. And here are other milestones. And for example, over here, it requires 10, excuse me, 10, what did we say this is called? Conditions. 10 conditions to get this, 25 conditions to get this, so on and so forth, blah, 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 blah. And guess what? The car can be acquired at 208. 208. You might be thinking, oh, that's a lot. But let's keep in mind that the total amount of condition is 345. So halfway there, a little past the halfway, what is it, like 65% of the progress, you can actually acquire the car. So you need to finish about 65% of all of this in order to be able to acquire the car. And as I was saying, if you happen to have all of the Lambos, and once you skip this stage 14, you can continue going, and guess what? You will be able to get the car, which is exactly what's gonna happen to me. Now, if you do have all of the Lambos, including the Sterato, which we don't know yet how it's gonna be acquired, then you can still get some additional rewards when you get closer to the end. Like I said, the maximum amount is 345. At the 340, you can get this avatar. At 339, which is literally just one before, you can get 8 direct upgrades. But make no mistake, to get to this, you absolutely need to have the Sterato and upgrade it. How are we gonna get the Sterato? I don't know. There's rumors that it might be a treasure rush. I really don't know yet. We have to wait and see what is gonna be the situation. Probably Gameloft is not gonna let us know just yet because so far the Sterato here, it's a free try. Over here, it's a free try also. So only until stage 14, which unlocks in about 10 days, you actually are required to own the car. And at that point, I probably will know what is the deal with how we're gonna get this car. But yeah, that is the general overview of this thing. Oh, and by the way, over here on stage 20, it's the part where this is no longer about conditions. Condition ends at stage 19. In stage 20 is if you already have the car, then you get to compete in a TLE fashion of event, where based on your percentage, you're gonna get different stuff. You can see at top 100%, you're gonna get 50,000 credits, and then some parts, some wild cards, then direct upgrades, which is pretty dope, then 1,000,000 fusion coins, and if you get to 1%, well, you get an additional 20 direct upgrades. So this is pretty good rewards, and overall, I'm gonna say, this type of event is not easy. Like I said, you are required to have a ton of cars, and right now for me this is great because I have the Lambos, so I'm gonna make this is gonna be a field day for me. But I understand that for a lot of other people that don't collect Lambos, that always thought, oh, I don't like the Mura, oh, I don't like the Asterion, oh, why would I spend money in buying the Super Trofeo, things like that. Yeah, this is gonna be a bit of a problem because it is some very considerable requirements. But at the end of the day, this is at least something different than festivals or car hunts. And while I've kind of defended the car hunts slash festivals because it's an easy way to acquire a new car, it's like, oh, I just gotta pay my $10 and be done with that, which for me, a person that is willing to spend some money in the game, it's a really easy way to acquire the car. That is fine, right? That was fine by me, but I understand that for free-to-play players, it's a problem. Now, as I was saying, you require a massive garage over here, and you might be saying, DBT, but this is not really free to play. You need to own a lot of cars and all of that. Yeah, I understand. That is true. But at the same time, you gotta understand that Gameloft is not... It's not in their best interest to just be giving away free cars anymore. They want you to work for the cars, and this is their iteration on the concept that I mentioned. It's already in Asphalt 9. Asphalt 9 is a little bit different because there's this thing called car hunts. It's not the same as over here. And car hunts are a very incredibly grindy way of getting free cars. But trust me, it is incredibly grindy. So I'm not gonna say that it's any better or any worse. That it's a very subjective view of things. But yeah, I just wanted to have a quick look at the entirety of the event. Like I said, I have all of these Lambos except obviously this Terrado. I have them all and I have them at Pro, so I should be able to acquire the car no problems. And I'll look into as to how to get this car, because if I can get every Lambo from this update, that'll be dope. Now, one last thing to consider is the fact that so far there's only information about 2 of the 4 new Lambos, obviously the Reventon and the Esterado. What about the other 2 Lambos? We saw them in the thumbnail. It's gonna be the Diablo and the Huracan Evo. Well, we don't know just yet. I really don't know what's gonna be, when is that gonna be made available, what is the process gonna be. But given the fact that Gameloft did call this the Lamborghini update, I want to believe that the entirety of the update is gonna be about Lamborghini. And if updates of the previous updates are anything to go by, updates tend to last 2 months. And this special event lasts 1 month. So I wonder if after this one finishes, there's gonna be another special event for the other cars. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I am curious to see what else Gameloft has planned. I think overall, it's a positive thing to have a new type of event, because I think that's where people have been extremely bored of this game, where there's nothing new to do. At least there's something new to do over here. So there is that. Now, whether or not you have the requirements for it, well, that's a completely different topic. And oh well. Real quick, I wanted to mention this thing over here, the offer to buy this avatar. It's a very strange looking avatar, but when you consider the fact that they put as a backdrop Venice, then you can just figure out that it's a reference to the Venice Carnival. So yeah, it's very mask based. So then when you look at this, how the carnivals are in Venice, then suddenly when you look at that, it doesn't look all that strange. So that now makes some sense. Well, there you go. I just wanted to have a look at the entirety of the thing. Again, I wanted to go into a bit of detail how the special event works in case you're not familiar with it. And yeah, overall, give you my thoughts on it. I'm going to continue playing this, obviously, and try to figure out what are the other changes that they did. But for the time being, those are the topics that I wanted to take into account. So let me know in the comments what you think about the entire thing of the special event. Do you have the cars that you're required? Are you gonna go for the Reventon? Are you gonna spend resources into acquiring the cars required? Are you gonna spend some resources into getting those cars that are required, maybe upgrading them? Or you're like, nah, never mind, I don't care. I'm curious to hear what you think. But that's all for now. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care and stay safe. Bye-bye.